The most shocking decision in Team USA basketball history just dropped, and nobody saw this coming. A'ja Wilson, the player who thought she owned women's basketball, just got the ultimate reality check when Team USA officials made the call that's sending shockwaves through the entire WNBA. While Caitlin Clark prepares for her triumphant return from injury to lead Team USA's future, Wilson is watching from her couch as the sport moves on without her. The woman who spent months attacking Clark's every achievement just discovered what happens when you go after the face of women's basketball. Before we dive into the explosive details that led to this stunning decision, drop a comment below if you think Team USA made the right call by choosing Clark's future over Wilson's past. Your opinion matters, and I want to hear what side you're on in this massive controversy. What happened behind closed doors at USA Basketball headquarters would make your jaw drop. Sources close to the situation are revealing that Wilson's removal from Team USA consideration wasn't just about basketball performance. It was about protecting the integrity of a program that's building around Caitlin Clark as their centerpiece for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. The decision came after months of Wilson's public attacks on Clark reached a breaking point that USA basketball officials couldn't ignore anymore. The timeline of Wilson's downfall is absolutely wild. It started when Nike handed Caitlin Clark that massive 8-year deal worth $28 million, a contract that made Wilson's endorsement deals look like pocket change. Instead of celebrating a fellow player's success, Wilson launched what insiders are calling the most desperate social media campaign in WNBA history. Her "I have a shoe too" post became so cringe that even her own teammates were reportedly embarrassed. Marketing experts analyzed the campaign and concluded it was the worst attempt at relevance they'd ever seen from a professional athlete. But that wasn't the whole story of how Wilson destroyed her own career through pure jealousy. When Clark was breaking attendance records throughout 2024 and early 2025 before her recent injury, Wilson was on social media questioning whether the fans were real basketball fans or just there for the hype. She actually suggested that Clark's popularity was somehow damaging to the sport, even as WNBA revenues were hitting record highs thanks to Clark's influence. The audacity of attacking the player who single-handedly brought more attention to women's basketball than anyone in history was mind-blowing. Team USA's elite training camp roster for 2025 tells you everything about where the program is heading. Caitlin Clark sits at the center of their plans, alongside rising stars like Aaliyah Boston, who's been dominating with the Indiana Fever, and Paige Bueckers, who's ready to make her professional impact. The coaching staff specifically designed their new offensive system around Clark's unique skill set, focusing on pace, three-point shooting, and transition basketball. They're not just building a team, they're creating a dynasty with Clark as the foundation. What happened next would shock everyone in the basketball world. Wilson tried to leverage her veteran status to demand a spot on the Team USA roster, claiming she deserved it based on past achievements. But here's where it gets really interesting. USA basketball officials had been monitoring Wilson's behavior toward Clark for months, and they'd seen enough. Internal documents that leaked suggest the decision-makers were concerned about team chemistry if Wilson and Clark were on the same roster. They chose the future over the past, and Wilson was out. The financial implications of Wilson's attacks on Clark are staggering when you look at the numbers. While Clark's speaking fees for corporate events reportedly reach 6 figures per appearance, Wilson's attempts to claim she earned similar amounts fell apart under scrutiny. Event organizers confirmed that Clark's appearances sell out immediately, while Wilson's bookings were declining even before her removal from Team USA consideration. One Fortune 500 company executive anonymously stated that they specifically avoided booking Wilson after her public attacks on Clark because they didn't want to associate their brand with that negativity. Sue Bird's involvement in reshaping Team USA's direction adds another layer to this story. Bird, who understands the evolution of basketball better than almost anyone, has been instrumental in positioning Clark as the face of the program moving forward. She's been quoted saying that Clark represents everything modern basketball should be about, from her playing style to her marketability to her ability to grow the game globally. Bird's endorsement carries massive weight, and her choice of Clark over Wilson speaks volumes about who really matters in women's basketball's future. The contrast between how Clark and Wilson handle adversity couldn't be more different. When Clark suffered her recent injury that's kept her sidelined in early 2025, she used the time to study film, mentor younger players, and prepare for her Team USA responsibilities. She's been working with trainers to come back stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Wilson's response to being left off Team USA has been more social media complaints and cryptic posts about being disrespected. The maturity gap between these two players is astronomical. But here's the part that really exposes Wilson's desperation. She actually tried to claim that Clark's Time Magazine Athlete of the Year recognition was based on factors other than basketball merit. This comment crossed a line that even Wilson supporters couldn't defend. She was essentially saying that Clark's achievements weren't real, that her impact on the sport wasn't legitimate. It was the most transparent display of jealousy anyone had seen from a professional athlete in years. The ripple effects of Wilson's removal from Team USA are already being felt throughout the WNBA. Other players who might have considered attacking Clark are seeing what happens when you go after the league's biggest star. Sponsors are reconsidering their relationships with players who show toxic behavior toward teammates or competitors. The message is clear that the league is moving forward with positivity and growth, not backward with jealousy and pettiness. What makes this situation even more shocking is the timing. With the 2026 World Cup approaching and the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics on the horizon, this should have been Wilson's opportunity to cement her legacy on the international stage. Instead, she'll be watching from home as Clark leads a new generation of American basketball stars to glory. The player who thought she was irreplaceable just learned that nobody is bigger than the game. Team USA's new offensive philosophy, built around Clark, is revolutionary for international women's basketball. They're implementing strategies that maximize Clark's incredible court vision and passing ability, while surrounding her with athletes who can finish plays at an elite level. Aaliyah Boston's presence gives Clark a dominant post player to work with, creating pick-and-roll opportunities that will be virtually unstoppable. The chemistry between these Indiana Fever teammates is already elite, and adding Olympic-level coaching will take it to another dimension. The business side of this decision reveals even more about why USA Basketball chose Clark over Wilson. Television executives have confirmed that games featuring Clark generate 3 times the viewership of games without her. International broadcasting rights for Team USA games are being negotiated with Clark as the centerpiece of marketing campaigns. Countries that have never shown significant interest in women's basketball are suddenly bidding for rights because Clark transcends the sport. Wilson's removal won't even register as a blip in these negotiations. Here's something that nobody's talking about but needs to be addressed. Wilson's attacks on Clark weren't just hurting Clark, they were damaging the entire ecosystem of women's basketball. Young players were watching a veteran tear down a rising star instead of mentoring and supporting her. Sponsors were getting nervous about investing in a sport where the biggest names were fighting publicly. Fans were being forced to choose sides instead of enjoying the game. Wilson's toxicity was literally poisoning the well that everyone drinks from. The response from current and former players to Wilson's removal has been telling. While nobody's publicly celebrating, the silence from Wilson's supposed supporters speaks volumes. Where are the players defending her? Where are the coaches saying Team USA made a mistake? The basketball community's quiet acceptance of this decision suggests that many people privately believe it was the right call. Wilson burned too many bridges with her jealousy-fueled campaign against Clark. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now because we're going to be covering every development in this story as Clark returns from injury and begins her Team USA journey. This situation is far from over, and you don't want to miss what happens next. The psychological aspect of Wilson's downfall is fascinating when you analyze it closely. Sports psychologists suggest that Wilson's behavior exhibited classic signs of someone who couldn't handle being surpassed by a younger player. Her attacks on Clark weren't strategic, they were emotional responses to feeling threatened. The "I have a shoe too" campaign wasn't marketing. It was a cry for attention from someone watching their relevance slip away. Wilson needed therapy, not social media, to deal with her feelings about Clark's rise. International basketball observers are already predicting that Clark's impact on Team USA will rival or exceed what Michael Jordan did for the Dream Team in '92. Her style of play translates perfectly to international rules where skill matters more than physicality. European scouts who've studied Clark's game say she's exactly what Team USA needs to maintain dominance as other countries improve their programs. Wilson's removal clears the way for Clark to fully embrace this leadership role without internal conflict. The financial losses Wilson is facing extend beyond just Team USA opportunities. Industry insiders estimate she's lost millions in potential endorsement deals due to her toxic reputation. Brands that might have considered her for campaigns are choosing other athletes who project positivity. Her speaking engagement calendar for 2025 is reportedly sparse compared to previous years. The cost of attacking Caitlin Clark is being measured in real dollars that Wilson will never recover. This entire situation proves that talent alone isn't enough in modern sports. Wilson had the skills to be great, but lacked the character to handle someone else's greatness. Clark has both elite ability and the personality that makes people want to root for her success. Team USA recognized that building around Clark wasn't just about basketball, it was about creating a brand that represents American excellence on the global stage. Wilson's removal was necessary to protect that vision. As we look ahead to Clark's return from injury and her integration into Team USA's system, the excitement is building to unprecedented levels. Ticket pre-sales for Team USA exhibitions featuring Clark are already breaking records. The 2026 World Cup is shaping up to be the most-watched women's basketball tournament in history. And at the center of it all will be Caitlin Clark, the player A'ja Wilson tried to tear down but only managed to elevate higher. The lesson here is crystal clear for every player in professional sports. You can either embrace the next generation and help grow the game, or you can let jealousy consume you and watch as the sport leaves you behind. Wilson chose jealousy, and now she's paying the ultimate price. Team USA chose the future, and that future has a name: Caitlin Clark.